Hello, I'm David LeBlanc. Most people call me DJ, both professionally and socially. And here's a little bit about me. I was born and raised in Rotterdam, New York, which is upstate, roughly 3 hours from the city, about 20 minutes outside of Albany. And I currently live in Scotia, so I didn't move very far away. It's only about 10 minutes away from Rotterdam in my original house. I attended Mahanason, which is a K-12 school in Rotterdam. And I would say this is where I got my first taste for education. They were fortunate enough to have a program my senior year that allowed students who thought they were going on an education path to intern at the middle school. So every other day, I would go down to teach seventh and eighth graders. I would teach eighth grade social studies, and I taught seventh grade PE. And this is really where I got the first taste for education. I knew I wanted to be a teacher in one of those two areas. I just wasn't sure which one, and this kind of helped guide me along the way. It helped me to ultimately get accepted into the College of St. Rose, which was in Albany, where I graduated with a degree in social studies adolescent education, certification for 7th through 12th grade. Sports have always been a big part of my life, growing up and still today. Today, I still play in a men's softball league, pick up basketball. I'm a coach. Sports have always really been huge for me, and I was fortunate enough to play soccer at St. Rose, which was a really big deal for me at the time, and still today, actually. After graduation, I met my wife. We love traveling, hiking, anything that involves outdoors, and our dog usually tends to tag along with us. Later that year, right after graduating from college, I was offered and obviously accepted my first ever teaching position, and it was at Mahanason, which was a little bit odd, coming from the fact that my colleagues were my ex-teachers. But we got through it. It was a little different. It was a little weird in the beginning, but I loved the experience. I worked there for 2 years in a alternative education setting for behavioral at-risk students. I then moved to Albany City School Districts. I was there for about a year, and I luckily was fortunate enough to have an opening at KIPP Albany Charter School, which I obviously took, and that's where I've been for the last 7 years. I'm a 7th and 8th grade social studies teacher there. I'm also the 7th grade chair. I coach the modified basketball team, and I'm the student council advisor. So KIPP definitely keeps me busy, but I love every second of it there. And then March of 2020 hit. One Friday, we just found out that Monday we were closed. So we basically had 48 hours to rewrite curriculum. It wasn't really coming down the pipeline until it was already there. The first thing that we started once virtual was we used a lot of Google Classroom, Google Forms. And I would embed lessons into forms, embed questions, movies, all under different sections. And although this was partially working for my students, I have a very engaging personality within the classroom, and my students I felt like they were missing that, and it was reflected in the grades. So I created LeBlanc's Takeaways, which was my YouTube channel for the students, and I would add a YouTube video every other day that would just sum up the lesson in probably 3 to 5 like quick hit bite-sized pieces. And after they would take the lesson, I would embed this YouTube video prior to the exit ticket, and grades started to increase. They would see my face every day. Prior to that, all of our lessons were asynchronous and independent, so this was a way that I was engaging them from not being, necessarily in front of them. This school year hit, and we are now fully in Canvas. I have, my own classroom set up. I use Nearpod a lot to help more engagement and student interactiveness. So I embed the movies, I embed the questions, everything right in Nearpod, and it definitely helps for student engagement. We're also online together, so they are synchronous lessons. They have links throughout my Google Classroom to their schedule, to other teachers if they need extra help, to the school store, where we're sending them things if they accrue certain amounts of money. So we're having that connection with them even though they're not home. Zoom links. It was definitely a struggle for me, but I would say my biggest challenge was just that engagement factor, and my YouTube channel helped me to be in the homes with the students before we were synchronous. but COVID has definitely been a challenging time for us. I look forward to increasing my knowledge and finding more tools for the tool belt to help my students. And I look forward to a great semester with all of you.